With the GoCurrency.com sports ticker, I'm Tim Mulhaupt on the Huskers Radio Network. Welcome into a new week, Huskers fans. Today, Nebraska football made defensive coordinator Eric Chinander available to the media, and he discussed his impressions of his defense in the Huskers team scrimmage that took place Saturday.
Yeah, in the scrimmage, I think we had a couple shots to get some balls out that we didn't get out. We did get a couple interceptions, so that was great to see. And I think the guys are rushing the passer really well right now. So I think that as that all comes together, you have to be an opportunistic defense, right? You have to run to the football. And right now our guys are really running to the ball. And when those balls get tipped up in the air, whether a receiver bats a ball and it's not quite there, or the DB tips it up, or a linebacker gets a hand on it, we're getting a lot of those right now. And it's lucky, but it's not lucky because they're running to the ball, you know what I mean? And when you run to the ball, good stuff happens.
We'll hear from Coach Chinander later in the hour. On a somber note, former Nebraska football assistant coach Jack Pierce passed away this morning. Pierce had served as an assistant for Tom Osborne from 1979 to 1991 before holding development roles in the Huskers athletic programs in the 90s and the 2010s. The Nebraska Athletic Department released the following statement earlier today. Today, our heart goes out to the family, friends, and Husker colleagues of Jack Pierce, who passed away earlier this morning. We join that statement from the Huskers Radio Network in sending our best wishes to Coach Pierce, his friends, and his family. Elsewhere in college football today, the top 25 preseason coaches poll came out. In the top 5, Alabama, and followed by Ohio State, Georgia, Clemson, and Notre Dame. Besides Ohio State, the Big Ten did well, as you'd expect. Number 6, it was Michigan. Coming in at number 14 was Michigan State. Number 20 is Wisconsin, and just missing the cut. Top 2 vote getters would be number 26 and 27, respectively, Iowa and Penn State. Down in the Big 12, this is a big controversy late yesterday. Oklahoma assistant football coach Cale Gundy, the longest-serving football coach in the Big 12, resigned from Oklahoma last night after spending 16 years with the Sooners. Gundy confirmed he used a racially charged word after reading it aloud off a distracted player's iPad screen in a team meeting. Potentially more to come in that story, as we've heard a lot of different conflicting things out of Oklahoma. Over to pro sports tonight in Major League Baseball. One game just underway. The Blue Jays and Orioles just had their first pitch. That game is scoreless. At 6:10, we'll see the Reds take on the Mets. At 7:05, the Nationals will battle the Cubs. At 8:40, the Angels will meet the Athletics out west. The Pirates take on the Diamondbacks at 8:40 as well. Another 8:40 game, the Giants and Padres are in San Diego. And at 9:10, the reeling New York Yankees are trying to bounce back against the Seattle Mariners out in Seattle. In the NBA today, Brooklyn Nets star forward Kevin Durant has told Nets ownership that if the Brooklyn wants to keep him and have him play this year, they have to choose between him or current head coach Steve Nash and general manager Sean Marks. Durant has asked for a trade from the Nets if his demands are not met. This update is presented by Currency. Does your business need help financing big-ticket items like equipment, trucks, and trailers? Currency is here to help. Visit GoCurrency.com for details. That's the ticker. I'm Tim Mulhaupt, and Sports Nightly is next on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
In motion is Brewington. They snap it back, fake the handoff, looking to throw. They flip it out the flat to Brewington, makes a catch. Touchdown, Nebraska. Well, that looked easy that time. Brewington came in motion, and instead of cutting down the block, kept out in the flat, flipped it out to him for an easy 6 points. And Treese now sends a man in motion. They turn, they flip it off to McDuffie, trying to race to the edge. Gets around JoJo Doma, but can't get around Nick Henrich. He'll go down. He'll lose 3 yards, back to the 23-yard line. What a play by Nebraska. It's caught! Touchdown! Omar Manning! What a grab in the end zone, and the Huskers have 6 more points.
What a throw and catch! Yes!
Nice jitter block move, and it bouncing the outside 40 to the 50-yard line, to the 40, 30-yard line, 20. That's Grant, 15, 10, 5. He's in there. Touchdown, Anthony Grant, with an electrifying move to the line of scrimmage, scoots to the outside and dashes down the sideline.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Here we are back. It's the 3rd week of the Husker football camp. How about that? Unbelievable how quickly this thing is zipping along. In fact, 2 weeks from tonight,
the Husker team will be boarding a plane and headed to Dublin, Ireland. We are getting so close, folks. Welcome to another week of Sports Nightly here on the Huskers Radio Network. So glad you're with us here tonight. Hope you had a great weekend as you're clicking them off. Only a couple of more to go before all these fall sports get going. Husker soccer played an exhibition match yesterday up in Omaha. Volleyball starts 2-a-days tomorrow. It's here. Let's go.
It is here. I'm excited. Yeah.
I'm glad. And one sign that you know that things are getting closer, Tim had it in the ticker. The preseason coaches poll is out. And I joked with Tim earlier. I said, well, they really shook things up at the top, didn't they? Alabama 1, Ohio State 2, Georgia 3, Clemson 4, Notre Dame 5. I mean, those 5 have been kind of around that neck of the woods for about a decade now.
I guess until they prove that they shouldn't belong there, you got to keep putting them there, right?
And, and Clemson had an off year last year, but I think they expect to kind of bounce back and be the class of the ACC conference this year. I will tell you, a little bit surprised with a couple teams. And one, Nebraska plays, and that Oklahoma is 9. With all the personnel losses of Oklahoma, and you and I detailed it when the Big 12 had their media days, they had one all-conference player in the Big 12, and it was the punter. And yet, there they are at number 9. That surprised me a little bit that they're that high up. USC being at 15 seems a little high. And who the heck was the coach that voted Texas number 1? They got a first-place vote. They're at 18. That doesn't seem quite right for a team coming off of 5 and 7.
Yeah, that's so weird. And it also makes you wonder if there is some gamesmanship going on in this type of poll when it's coaches voting it. But yeah, I mean, there is just so much unknown with Oklahoma. And I know that people think that they've got a lot of talent coming back, and Brent Venables, his success as a defensive coordinator, but you just don't know how it's going to all come together. There's just so many questions. And then USC as well, they were bad last year. They were bad. And even though Lincoln Riley brought in a lot of pieces and some proven pieces at that, it's still there's a lot of talk that they don't have much on the lines. And that's such a key, and especially to what Lincoln Riley wants to do offensively is that offensive line. And so, again, a lot of unknowns. So it's kind of crazy that an unknown program coming off a bad season in just one haul of a transfer portal and a new coaching staff gets that big of a nod is kind of suspect to me. I was also surprised to see Pitt that high given all that they lost. I mean, a Heisman Trophy finalist, your Biletnikoff Award winner, and your offensive coordinator all gone. And, that to me is surprising as well to see them up there. And, even Michigan State as high as they were with Kenneth Walker Jr. being gone.
He's gone, but they got a chunk of their team back. I think they'll be pretty good.
He was just such a huge part of what they did that, I don't know if I'd put them that high, but.
So Husker opponents in this coaches preseason poll, Michigan, number 6, Oklahoma, number 9, and then you have to drop down to Wisconsin at number 20 is a Husker opponent. And then right outside the top 25, if you extended the poll on out, Iowa would have been 26. Penn State's 27. We don't play them, but Iowa right outside the top 25. Minnesota also got votes. Purdue got some votes. Those will be Husker opponents as we make our way through the fall. But interesting. Love this. Gives folks like us a chance to talk about some of these teams. But I'm with you. I don't know that you put Pitt and all the losses that they have back in the top 20. USC needs to show me before I would put them in the top 20 type thing. And certainly Texas needs to show me something before I would even rank them, period.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think there's just with so many of the unknowns with some of those teams, you're basically banking those votes off of what you think they could be, not what they've shown that they could do. And so, again, just show me before that if I was voting, that's how I'd be. I wouldn't even have USC in the top 25 just because, again, knowing that they had to overhaul basically their entire roster. They had nothing basically that they had to work with or not very much to work with. And so they had to bring in a bunch. And then with Pitt, mentioned the losses there. I mean, that's just an offense overcoming that. Not even just the offensive coordinator leaving, but when you lose a quarterback and that finishes in the Heisman voting, and then your best wide receiver, the best wide receiver in the country, to me, that just seems a little much of a stretch to have them in the top 20.
Pitt's got an interesting opener. They play an opener with West Virginia. Those are long-time rivals that have been split apart by all the conference realignment. They call it the backyard brawl. They're going to play an opening game of the season, and that'll be a fun one to watch. I believe it's the first Thursday night of week 1, not week 0, but week 1. That'll be a fun one to follow along as well. And so interesting there. coaches poll. The AP poll comes out next week, so that's the writers, the broadcasters who vote on that. Maybe they'll be smarter about some of these things. Maybe they'll be smart, not have agendas like the coaches do.
I think coaches, we've seen it that
Yes.
They don't want their team to be number one. They might vote somebody random, up there, or might be trying to push their conference or maybe even their teams that they're going to play.
Correct.
On their schedule, push those teams up to the top 10, top 25, because that only boasts them and their resume and all of that. So there's just some reasoning behind why coaches would vote certain things as opposed to going legitimate what 1 through 25 is.
Yeah. So that's out. It's fun fodder. If you haven't seen it, go online. You'll be able to find it pretty quick. It came out about noon today, or maybe a little earlier than noon today, and I'm sure has been talked about in a lot of the shows around the state here this afternoon. All right, Husker football did have a full-blown scrimmage today. We're going to get some reaction from Eric Chenander about the scrimmage. Sound like the defense had a pretty good scrimmage. Didn't sound like there was any injuries on the defensive side of the ball other than a couple of bumps and bruises, as Coach Chin said. That's a good news. You don't want to have that. You're only allowed 2 full-blown scrimmages, Jessica, before you start the year. So for the Huskers, that was one of them. They're a couple days. I think that this Saturday they may have another one as well. But you only get 2 of those before you tee it up for real. So they use one of their 2. But as we said, we're inside of 2 weeks from – we're right at 2 weeks from leaving and flying over to Europe for that game. So it's not that far away. But Coach Chenander seemed pleased with a lot of what he's seen from his defense so far.
Yeah, I think they're coming together. You're going to hear from a couple of the guys that have really had great fall camps today, and Tommy Hill and O'Shawn Mathis, and how they've seen the defense come along. But they have a little bit more experience, I think, in certain areas than maybe take, for example, maybe the D-line going up, or that front 7 going up against the offensive line. There's some pieces in that place, in that offensive line, that haven't had a lot of experience, and so it's a lot, going up against the O'Shawn Mathises, Garrett Nelsons, those linebackers that have been around and played a lot of ball. It's a lot, so they'll continue to grow. It's a work in progress, and but yeah, I think from all accounts, it seems like the defense took round 1.
Generally, and you and I both have mentioned this, the defense earlier in camp is ahead of the offense, and then as you get closer to game time, the gap shortens, and I think we're seeing just that. So I don't think that's a real concern to have that. We've had some people that are like, are they talking about O'Shawn Mathis? Has he been a bust? Well, we're going to hear from O'Shawn in hour 2. We're also going to hear Eric Chenander talk about O'Shawn. Trust me, folks, he's not a bust. He's going to be a heck of a player.
No, yeah, he is. And you just have to remember that he wasn't here in the spring. And so this is his first time getting on the field with this defense, learning all of the schemes and all of the plays and all the players around him, his teammates, everything, because that's a lot. I mean, even though they were able to do some in the summer as far as actually getting out onto a field, this is his first time as a Husker with this team in fall camp. And so, it's a lot to take in, a lot to learn, but I think he's, progressing and doing what he can to learn quickly. But you cannot forget that he was not here in the spring.
Correct. And they're probably doing a few different things with him that he did at TCU. It'll take a little bit of time for him to get going, but he's a very talented guy. All of his teammates say that. They like him. That's, I think, a real important thing is his teammates have really accepted him, and he's kind of become the wing guy for Garrett Nelson. It's kind of like he knows Garrett's kind of the leader of this team, and he's kind of set up right off of his shoulder.
Yeah, I think they've become quite the 1-2 punch, not just on the field, but how they're leading this team. And you're going to hear, I asked O'Shawn about that very thing, so you can hear him talk about it himself, but they feed off of each other very well. The way they go together, it works well, because O'Shawn's a little bit more of a quiet guy. Garrett Nelson obviously is by no means a quiet guy, and so the two of them and Garrett's been around, been a part of this program, a Nebraska kid. O'Shawn's the one coming in, but has a lot of hype. So I think just together they've meshed very well. And they both want what each other wants for this team, and that's for this team and this defense to be as successful as possible. And so whatever they have to do as teammates, that's what they want to do. And so that's their goals for this team is also aligned.
So we're going to hear from O'Shawn in hour 2. Also, Tommy Hill, who's another one of those transfer portal additions, came from Arizona State. He is opening some eyes, and he is pushing to be a starter on the Black Shirts. So we'll hear from him. We have not talked to Tommy since he arrived in campus. Interesting fellow, and I think not only is he going to have a big impact on the defense, but he's also got a chance to impact this team with the special teams unit as well. We'll have that for you in hour number 2. As always, we want you to be a part of the program with a call or a text, 402-413-2400. In fact, let's take a call before we go to the first break. Let's go out to North Platte and Jim. Good evening, Jim. Welcome to the show.
Well,
yes, sir.
Good evening to you both. I am anxious for football to start, and I just want to say that I would like to see Nebraska to get back to the 1970s and 80s and 90s. I'd like to see him go back to that mouth smash football like they did in 70s and 80s, 90s, and I wish the team that will have a good trip and a good game over there in Ireland. And I was just kind of curious. I would like us to win 7, 8, 9 ball games, and that would be a good way to start the year off. Thank you both. Thank you.
All right, Jim. I think you're a lot of people would echo you. They want to see that kind of return to excellence of football, and that's what this team and all the coaches have been working on as well. Bill in Portland on our text line, Jessica. How do things look for a full house in Dublin? I don't think the full house will happen. Do you?
No, I don't think it'll be completely sold out. It does seem like there's going to be a vast majority of Husker fans there compared to Northwestern fans. And I haven't heard or haven't seen the latest on actually what the ticket sales look like in Ireland. But, they love their sports there, and I know they're intrigued to see an American football game back on their soil there. So I think it'll be a good crowd. I don't think it'll be sold out.
I agree. And there'll be over 10,000 Husker fans there. That is phenomenal. That many people are making the investment to go over there. And a lot of people are going to go over for 10, 12 days and go spend some time and go see what Ireland has, maybe travel up into Scotland and do some of that. And that's great. I wish we could. We're going to be anchored there in Dublin for our time there.
And hopefully we'll be able to get one of the guys on from Ireland that are help planning this game just to get some recommendations of some things to do, maybe what golf courses you can check out, all of that kind of good stuff, where to eat. Everybody wants to know where to eat. And so hopefully we'll have him on a little bit, and we can ask him as well about what the ticket sales look like and how the interest has grown for the fans there in Ireland, the locals there, how much they're excited to be going to this game too.
Yeah. Keep the calls and texts coming, folks. 402-413-2400. We'll slip out of here, get our first break of the night in, and come back with a full-blown practice report with clips from the defensive coordinator, Eric Chenander. That's coming up next.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. Nebraska's new collaborative biosecurity lab is leading research to safeguard America's food supply against growing threats, in partnership with the U.S. Departments of Defense and Homeland Security. The lab brings together world-leading expertise in agriculture and a deep understanding of the complexities of strategic deterrence across the threat spectrum and in multiple domains.
Give it off to Yant, right side. Jack West to the 35. Nice move. 40, 45, 50, 45, 40. Run, big fella. 30, 25, 20. Stiff arming a guy. 10 to the 5. He's out of bounds to the 4-yard line. Jack West, Yant.
Hey Huskers fans, this Wednesday, join us on Sports Nightly from 6 to 8 p.m. as we break down another Nebraska football fall camp practice report. Tune into your local affiliate or at huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
Find your next truck at Woodhouse Buick GMC. No matter where you're heading or what tasks need tackling, there's a premium and capable GMC truck that's perfect for you. Make a statement on the job site, out on the town, or wherever life leads you in the powerful and distinctive Sierra 1500, or elevate your driving experience in the adventurous and innovative Canyon. Explore our inventory online at WoodhouseBuickGMC.com or visit our indoor showroom today. Woodhouse Buick GMC. We are professional grade.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hey, Husker fans, it's time to gear up for the season. So let's do it right. Jerseys, hats, hoodies, and more. Shields has everything you need to show your Nebraska pride. Visit our fan shop online or in-store for the biggest and best brands in the game. You'll find the right gear to level up your team spirit with all the essentials for your pregame parking lot party. Shields, proud partner of Husker Athletics and football fans everywhere.
Seasons change, but your land stays the same. You need the right solutions to keep you moving. That's why you rely on Acres Equipment, your premier John Deere dealership and proud partner of Nebraska Athletics. Whether you're harvesting, protecting your crops, feeding the herd, maintaining your lawn, improving your business, or letting off some steam, Acres has what you need to get the job done. Acres Equipment, solutions for every field.
Families who travel to Nebraska's only Ronald McDonald House are facing extremely uncomfortable situations. Their child is sick in an unfamiliar city, unsure of how to handle it all. But when they walk in the Ronald McDonald House, they can find comfort in the little things. A quiet moment away from the bombardment of beeps and buzzes in a hospital room. The taste of a home-cooked meal. A calming voice saying it'll be okay. Help us provide the little things that make a big difference. Support a one-night stay for a family in need by visiting rmhcomaha.org/Huskers.
Did you ever buy something and get more than you expected? Emeritus offers insurance, employee benefits, and financial services, but we deliver so much more. The comfort of a human voice when you need it, the confidence of flashing a beautiful smile, the relief that your family can keep living the life they love, the serenity of knowing you've planned well and can enjoy life. That's what we really deliver. We call it fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services, and much more.
You already got the hat, the jersey, maybe even the occasional red and white face paint. So kick things off right this season and add the FNBO Husker Visa debit card to the list. Pay loud and proud for every Husker decal, t-shirt, or hot dog at the game. Wear your heart on your sleeve and in your wallet with the Husker Visa debit card, free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get yours today at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
It's more than a Lincoln, it's your Lincoln. Custom order your next luxury SUV with Woodhouse Lincoln today. Choose from the full range of Lincoln models and curate every detail to your deepest desires. From exterior color down to each accessory, our friendly and knowledgeable sales staff will guide you to your next vehicle. Begin your custom order journey online at woodhouselincoln.com.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, it is sponsored by Acres. They are the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody back with you here on a Monday night. The defensive coordinator Eric Chenander met with the media for the second time since camp opened to earlier today. So that's part of our GoCurrency.com Husker football practice report. And he started out with just a generic talk about how the scrimmage looked for his defense on Saturday.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of good and a lot of stuff to clean up. I'm pretty happy with how the ones operated. Pretty happy with how they tackled. I think the 2s and 3s, we got to tighten that up a little bit. We got to, have a little bit more separation on who's going to be those next guys up. We rotated a lot of guys in with the 1, so it wasn't just a pure 1 mix. It was kind of a 1A, 1B mix, and I think a lot of those guys showed great competition. I think there's a few guys that, kind of separated themselves, but there's still a lot of competition at just about every position.
It's good to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. And good to hear that they're battling it out. But yeah, you would hope that certainly at some point that those guys start to separate themselves so you can get a better feel of how your depth chart looks. But the fact that the 1s went out there, as we talked about, and took care of business is always good for the defensive coordinator.
Speaking of depth, and we heard from Travis Fisher last month on our position breakdowns about how deep that secondary is and how competition is going to be pretty thick throughout the camp. Has it been? Here's the coach talking about the depth in that part of the defense.
I don't think so. Like I said, I think there's a couple guys that maybe kind of pulled themselves away and solidified their spot, and there's still a lot of competition. At every position we had, at least 3 corners rotating with the ones, 3 safeties, 3 nickels, 3 inside backers, and I think a couple guys at every position kind of cleared their way, but there's still a lot of fight. There's still a lot of camp left.
Interesting when he later in the press conference, and I don't have this clip ready, but he talked about the nickel position, and he said it's a 3-way battle between Chris Kolarvik, who they moved from linebacker, Isaac Gifford, who everybody's really high on, and Javen Wright has worked himself into the rotation in a fight for playing time. And
Wow.
I just say hallelujah. That kid has had so many injury situations. That is wonderful to hear that he's that far up.
Yeah, that is awesome, and good for him to come back and fight back and, not only just overcome that, but also to put himself, after missing a full year of football, that is not easy to do, and get back out there and still be in this conversation is absolutely huge, and kudos to him. But yeah, I just think that Coach Chenander's got a lot of pieces to work around and figure out, and I think they're pretty excited about the competition too, because again, those guys better bring it every day or they're going to get moved down the depth chart. So I think that's what they realize they have to do and what they've been doing.
He mentioned 3 players working at the corner spots for the 2 starting positions. One of those 3 is Tommy Hill, who we're going to hear from in hour 2. Here's the coach when he was asked about what Tommy does well.
Yeah, Tommy, every day he flashes. Every day he makes a great play. Tommy's just got to be a little bit more consistent. Some of that's being new to the program, new to the system, but a little more consistency with him. But he definitely flashes, and you can definitely see what the ceiling is there.
Jessica, the other 2 would be Quentin Newsome, who I think it's pretty safe to say is going to start. And then Braxton Clark, who we've seen for the last couple of years, would be the 3rd guy.
Yeah, but I think always good to have, you just need those guys all the time. Look, Cam Taylor-Britt went down at Oklahoma, and to have guys that you can just sub in and not drop off, that you need that. And so I think that's good for this defense, that you have that kind of depth and guys that can rotate in. And again, going back to, you never know which matchup is going to be best for each defensive back, whether, what wide receiver, who matches up with each wide receiver each week, and that could be good for game planning too.
One spot that maybe lacks a little bit of depth, and we're certainly up in front about this, and the coach has too, is the interior defensive line. How has that group looked when it now looks like it's been joined in the battle with a walk-on who's fighting for some playing time?
Colton Feast is a guy that came in here as a kind of a walk-on guy that not many people outside the program knew about, and he's just worked and worked and worked, and he's put himself in a position to play a ton of snaps this year, whether he gets to be a starter or whether he's the first guy in the rotation. He's done an unbelievable job with technique. He's a powerful guy. He knows what's going on. He has good anticipation of the game, and he can really run for a big guy. He's playing on some special teams for us as well.
Jessica, the other people up front would be Ty Robinson, who I think is locked in and probably a starting spot. And then you have Nash Hutmaker, the polar bear, and Stephon Wynn, who's the Alabama transfer, has fought his way into that group.
Yeah, and I got a chance to talk to him today and Colton. And, Ty Robinson mentioned Colton's name multiple times. He's brought him up several times. But I just think overall, having that depth, we saw how beneficial that was to be able to do basically a line change and to stay fresh throughout an entire game. And so just building that depth. But Colton talked about how big it was for him, even though it was kind of difficult, the lack of depth in the spring, how much that paid off for some of these other guys right now that are in this conversation, because they got so many opportunities. And instead of just going through the motions, he said, we wanted to go at every rep and give it our all and win every rep. And so, man, that paid dividends for a lot of these guys that are now in this conversation for that defensive line depth now.
Wynn was not here yet. He got here later than spring ball. And Devin Drew, the update is still anticipated to be here this week, but is not here yet. And they are confident that he can jump right in the mix. Played a lot of football at Texas Tech in the Big 12 as a starter even. So that's a guy that certainly has proven it at this level to play. Another guy from the Big 12 that has proven he can play is O'Shawn Mathis. Here's the coach talking about O'Shawn.
Yeah, O'Shawn's done a great job. I thought O'Shawn had a really good scrimmage. He's different structured defense for him. He was off the ball a lot last year, it seemed. So he's had to play a little bit more, true defensive end for us, which he's done a great job responding to Coach Dawson. He's picked up everything. He's really a big-time effort guy, and he showed up yesterday at the scrimmage. So it's really nice to have, guys on the edge. You already have Caleb and Garrett. Now you throw O'Shawn in the mix, and then Jamari Butler and Blaze Gunnarsson have had tremendous camps as well. So that's going to be really good to have a good rotation on that edge.
Might be the deepest spot on the team.
Yeah, and that, him talking about this is a new experience for O'Shawn and a little bit different system. That's what he wanted coming in here, was to be able to learn and grow and be kind of well-rounded, because that's what NFL teams want, is somebody that can do a lot of different things there on that line. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, I bet Coach Shenander's just having all kinds of fun trying to figure out how to get those guys involved and turn loose those Garrett Nelsons, Caleb Tanners, and I mean, even Jamari Butler seems like is having a good camp too.
His name comes up all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I fibbed. I do have the clip about the nickel spot on defense, and that this was where they really had fun last year playing with JoJo Doman, and so they're trying to replace that position. Here he does talk about what he has seen at that position so far.
Yeah, I think right now there's 3 guys that are all running with the ones. Isaac, Javen Wright, Chris Kolarvik, and I think those guys are doing a really good job. I think it's going to be really hard to see who's going to be the starter, but I think you're going to see all those guys are going to earn the right to be on the field. And I think those guys need to play a huge impact in special teams too, because we got 3 legitimate guys that can all play there, so we can keep those guys fresh, and then they can operate on the special teams as well.
So there is his clip about the nickel spot on defense. All right, last clip from the Husker defensive coordinator. What's he hoping to get out of the rest of camp? And the coaches divided into camp and then game week prep. And they will get to game week prep probably next Thursday. So they've got about 10 more days left of camp. Here's the Eric Chenander about what he wants to see over those next 10 days.
We've got some situational work to still get in. I'd like to continue to work on our low red zone stuff, some of our third down package. We've got to get some end of the game stuff yet. A few of those situations and a few things need to get installed with those packages. So I'd like to see those things get in and everybody get operating at a high click with that. Also, we've been stressing communication, both pre-snap, post-snap. The guys are really good right now at talking through the situations while they're on the field, down in distance, where they're at, what the situation is, maybe if coaches got the scoreboard operating, those types of things. So I'd like to see that get raised up a little bit.
So there you go. Comments from Eric Chenander today. Seemed to be pretty pleased coming off the first scrimmage. Yesterday was an off day. They were back to day 1 of the 3-day cycle in practice today. And I think you have to feel pretty encouraged about the way this defense is coming together.
Yeah, especially because there were a lot of pieces that they had to fill off of last year's defense. That was definitely a highlight that had a lot of great moments last year. I mean, they kept this team in so many games and were absolutely, and you look at even just the defensive line. So to see some of these things coming together and some of these portal guys that have been able to step in and fit right in and how they've meshed with the guys that are coming back, you never know how that's going to go. But so far it seems like that is going as good as can be expected. And they seem to also really, really like each other, as you're going to hear Tommy Hill and O'Shawn Mathis talk about here coming up in a little bit.
I really appreciate Coach Chenander because we talk so much about culture. I think he's had the culture right in the defensive room for a couple of years. The offense, to me, has not quite been there, and there's a lot more moving parts on offense with a lot of the transfers on that side of the ball. But I'm with you. I think that group was pretty tight a year ago. I don't see any drop-off at all on defense this year.
No, it doesn't. I mean, they just seem to really like being out on the field with each other. They celebrate each other. When I've seen guys make plays, the way that their teammates are celebrating them is also really big to see. And I think it's when you worry about losing those leaders that have played a lot of football together, how that's going to carry over. I think they haven't missed a beat, and they seem to be as close, if not closer than they were a year ago.
That's great. That wraps up our practice report for today. Presented by Currency. Does your business need quick, easy, and secure financing for equipment, trucks, or trailers? All you need is Currency. Visit gocurrency.com huskers.com for details. All right, phone lines, text lines open for you. Thoughts? What'd you hear? What piqued your interest from Eric Chenander? 402-413-2400, the number to dot us up with a comment or question. The Sports Nightly Hotline brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. With 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned, you can always find what you are looking for with Woodhouse. All right, back with more of the show coming up next.
It's time to amp up the fun now during the Ford Summer Supercharged Sales Event. Just move on up. Get great offers on select Ford vehicles, and you'll not only bring back the fun, you'll supercharge it. So stop by the Summer Supercharged Sales Event at your Ford dealer and discover how Ford can take your summer to a whole new level. Not all models, trims, or features may be available. Contact your dealer for information. Just move on up.
How do you remember things? Post-it note, string around your finger, smartphone reminder? Whatever you do, remember Nebraska Pick 3 2x2 and My Day. 3 great Nebraska Lottery Lotto games that are all $1 per play with drawings every day. Nebraska Pick 3 lets you choose your own bet type. 2x2 has a $22,000 top prize. And with My Day, you choose a 6-digit date. Must be 19, please play responsibly. Oh, got a reminder. Produced Nebraska Lottery Commercial. I'm all over that.
Greatness doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, focus, and dedication. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that because we put in the hard work and dedication for decades. And that commitment is paid off with award-winning customer service for your auto, home, and life insurance. Visit shelterinsurance.com and find an agent to help you choose the coverage you need. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
You already got the hat, the jersey, maybe even the occasional red and white face paint. So kick things off right this season and add the FNBO Husker Visa debit card to the list. Pay loud and proud for every Husker decal, t-shirt, or hot dog at the game. Wear your heart on your sleeve and in your wallet with the Husker Visa debit card, free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get yours today at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
SOS to the rescue. SOS to the rescue.
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Ooh, but he can't make it because he is so hot. The air conditioner is out again. SOS, he screams and calls SOS Heating and Cooling, his favorite Luxair dealer trusted since 1950. With Luxair, you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue. SOS. SOS.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Every day, Central Valley Ag Cooperative works with our farmers to feed the globe. Embracing the cooperative spirit, CVA's innovative products and services in grain, agronomy, feed, and energy deliver world-class value to our members. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Learn how we grow agriculture together at cvacoop.com. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
How do you remember things? Post-it note, string around your finger, smartphone reminder? Whatever you do, remember Nebraska Pick 3 2x2 and My Day. 3 great Nebraska Lottery Lotto games that are all $1 per play with drawings every day. Nebraska Pick 3 lets you choose your own bet type. 2x2 has a $22,000 top prize. And with My Day, you choose a 6-digit date. Must be 19, please play responsibly. Oh, got a reminder. Produced Nebraska Lottery Commercial. I'm all over that.
Give it off to Yant, right side. Jack West to the 35. Nice move. 40, 45, 50, 45, 40. Run, big fella. 30, 25, 20. Stiff arming the guy. 10 to the 5. He's out of bounds to the 4-yard line. Jack West, Yant.
Hey Huskers fans, this Wednesday, join us on Sports Nightly from 6 to 8 p.m. as we break down another Nebraska football fall camp practice report. Tune into your local affiliate or at huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
Greatness doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, focus, and dedication. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that because we put in the hard work and dedication for decades. And that commitment is paid off with award-winning customer service for your auto, home, and life insurance. Visit shelterinsurance.com and find an agent to help you choose the coverage you need. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres. They are the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. 402-413-2400, the number for you to dial us up with a comment or question. We just heard from Eric Chenander, Huskers defensive coordinator, in the last segment. And we'll hear from Mark Whipple on Wednesday as the Huskers make their way through this week. 2 weeks from tonight, here we go, off to Dublin, Ireland, and get ready for game week. Husker volleyball will start 2-a-days tomorrow. They'll have two different practices as they begin their trek to their starting of their season on the 26th, where they will have not one but two matches on Friday the 26th at the Devaney Center. All right, preseason poll. We talked about that earlier in the hour. It came out. The coaches' preseason poll came out today. The AP comes out over the weekend, so we're still a few days away from that. And Tim mentioned this in the ticker as well. Our thoughts and prayers to the Pierce family. Jack Pierce passed away early this morning. Jack was a longtime assistant coach for Tom Osborne, did a lot of the recruiting for Coach Osborne down through his years, and then in his later life went over to development and raised a lot of funds. Jack was the guy that you could hear down the hall. Jack kind of always would hold court. A tremendous ambassador for the University of Nebraska, loved Husker football, and lost a long battle with cancer earlier today. And so our thoughts and prayers again with the Pierce family. But Jack was one of a kind. A lot of you folks out there probably remember and know Jack. So our thoughts and prayers to the Pierce family. He will be laid to rest later this week here in Lincoln. Another great Husker guy that passed away today. 402-413-2400. Man, it felt great outside today. Were you outside much all day?
Yeah, I walked my dog this morning and had to go back in and get a jacket. It was kind of chilling.
Good. I guess we have like 3 straight 100-degree days coming up.
Well, and it was hot this weekend, so it was nice to get a little reprieve, I guess, a little break from it. But, yeah.
Felt good.
It felt really good.
Felt really good. All right, Bob and Waverly. Let's go to Bob and Waverly. You're up next here on Sports. Good evening, Bob.
Yeah, we've heard the defense had a great scrimmage this past weekend. Does that mean the offense was a little subpar, or I haven't heard a lot of hype about how the offense did?
Don't know. We haven't heard from the offensive coaches. We will on Wednesday.
Okay. Well, I thought we would hear a little smoke from by now, but it, you know.
Well, according to some of the players, they said the running backs had a great day. Some of the defensive guys said, yeah, the running backs did really well on Saturday.
Yeah. So Jeremiah was out there the whole time, and we taped a podcast today. We'll drop it tomorrow. And he really raved about the running backs. He was really impressed. And Trey Palmer had a couple of really good plays as well. But, I think there were some flashes. I just think overall, I think the defense won the day. But I definitely don't think that there was nothing positive coming from the offense. I just think the defense won it from start to finish.
Just be patient, Bob. We'll hear from them on Wednesday.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, everybody wants it all. We just heard from
somebody's going to lose.
Coach Chenander today, and I think the offense scored. I mean,
they did.
I wasn't there, so we'll hear more from the offensive coaches on Wednesday and get their thoughts.
It's kind of one of those, like, as a head coach too, when you walk off the field, you got to feel good if the defense, shuts out the offense. Oh, well, the defense look good, but oh crap. Well, the offense, but then if the offense scores a bunch of points and you're like, oh crap, the defense didn't, so you'd hope that it goes 50-50. And, I think there has been some battles but I think, the defense seemed to have overall from start to finish won the first scrimmage. We'll see how the second one goes.
Yeah. I mean, they get 2 full-blown scrimmages before they can kick off the season, and one is in the books for this team. Hey, buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. All right, 402-413-2400. Need to slip our final break of the hour in, but still time for you to join us with a call or a text. Back with more of the show next.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
Families who travel to Nebraska's only Ronald McDonald House are facing extremely uncomfortable situations. Their child is sick in an unfamiliar city, unsure of how to handle it all. But when they walk in the Ronald McDonald House, they can find comfort in the little things. A quiet moment away from the bombardment of beeps and buzzes in a hospital room. The taste of a home-cooked meal. A calming voice saying it'll be okay. Help us provide the little things that make a big difference. Support a one-night stay for a family in need by visiting rmhcomaha.org/Huskers.
At Nebraska, our people will always be our greatest asset. Day by day, donors give our teams the best opportunity to compete and win through their generous donations. Our vision for the future is ambitious and requires help from those who want to see Husker athletics excel at the highest level. Go big and join thousands of other Huskers Athletic Fund members with your gift today at huskers.com/donate. Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it is safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief, nutrition, or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Here's to the locals, raised right here in the Western Corn Belt. The strong ones. We help them grow stronger, making world-class genetics, research, and technology local. The cutting-edge yet common-sense agronomy, the shake-em-up yields. Because we're born and raised here too, and we'll keep raising the bar to ensure you only get the best at Hogemeyer. Raised local, raised right here. Learn more at therightseed.com.
Our Sports Only Hotline brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime with 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned. You can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody back with you. Final segment of Hour 1 here of a Monday night show, 402-413-2400, the number to dial us up with a comment or question, or if you want to, fire off a text. And we're also up on our YouTube chat. Those folks in there having a good time tonight conversing amongst themselves. Jeremy in Texas on our text line said, the offense being behind the D is nothing to worry about. The defense has their culture and identity developed, and the offense is going through some major changes. Remember, this defense, for the most part, kept us in all our games last year. And I totally agree, Jeremy. I said that same thing about the culture of the defense. Eric Chenander, tipped your cap to him. He's got that kind of in place. But, yeah, and I think any camp you would go to around the country right now, defenses are going to be ahead of the offenses until they get more rhythm and everybody on the same page.
Yeah, I just think you look at the offensive line alone, you got some players that are in some new positions, and then Teddy hasn't even played. You know, this is his first time getting out onto a field. I just think it's a work in progress, as is every team. And even the defense will tell you they're not there yet, that it's still a work in progress too. But, yeah, it's I don't think surprising at all, and I don't think anybody would be surprised, especially just instilling a new offense too at that.
It is, and a lot of new players at quarterback, running back, wide receiver for that group. Again, we'll hear from Mark Whipple on Wednesday. That's when he's due to be up and going again. Also, it was tweeted out this afternoon, Nebraska's got a new addition to their secondary. Brandon Moore has been added to the football roster. Brandon has had an interesting college career, spent some time at Iowa Western, but he's from Florida, started at UCF a couple of years ago, transferred to Florida State, but then never played for the Seminoles, left last August, and has landed here. Travis Fisher deeply tied into that Tallahassee area. That's where Travis is from. So Brandon Moore's been added to the roster. Maybe he can help his team, but man, he's late to the party, and there's so much already depth in that defensive secondary.
Yeah, it really is. And I don't know his story. I don't know. I mean, I know he had some injuries and hasn't played ball, but, with that history and knowing what the expectations are of Coach Fisher and being in that room, having that experience of being in that room could certainly help in that regard. And, I guess add another one to the list of the competition.
Travis Fisher doesn't mind that. Bring in somebody and go, keep the guys on their toes a little bit. Keep them working.
Absolutely. We heard him talk about how much he likes that, and that's what he's been wanting for since he got here. And, hey, just add another one. Hey, better bring your A game. Continue to bring your A game.
Question in the chat room, have they announced the captains yet? Nothing yet. I think we might be a week or so away from maybe that happening, so we'll keep our ears tuned to it, but nothing so far.
We'll let you know as soon as we do.
That's right. We'll pop that. We're not going to sit on that.
I do think it's pretty clear a few of them who they are going to be. Now, as far as the official announcement, I think there's certainly some names that you can pretty much go ahead and put the C on their jersey.
44?
Yes.
Maybe one of those. 83? Probably another one of those guys that could do that. John in Omaha says, listening to Coach talk about how much there is yet to install and nail down, I have to be honest, it kind of stresses me out. Just goes to show how every minute of every practice is crucially important to be focused. He's exactly right, and that's what they ask for these guys every day. They got to be focused when they're in the classroom or the film room. They got to be focused when they're doing their drills. Even when their rep is not up, they have to be focused on watching their teammates to see what they're doing right and wrong. There's just so much to install with football. There's so many intricacies to the sport that, every minute is very valuable and critical.
Yeah, and I think that's why they develop a very comprehensive game plan as to, hey, this is what we got to get done this day and this day and this day. And it's also why you're hearing the players continue to say, we got to win today and not look too far ahead. We got to just do what we can do today.
I heard that again today.
Yeah, I mean, it's the overall theme that's being said in the locker room that is being which I think is a good sign. The fact that you're hearing that, and it's not just, a lot of times you hear the same messaging coming from, like, say, position coach to player.
Yeah.
But the fact that you're coming from offense and defense, young guys, old guys, that is the same consistent message that they're coming back to, whether they're being asked about it or not, I think is a good sign that they're all bought into that.
Absolutely. Some folks, you've been asking about when BTN was going to show some of their coverage from their trip to Lincoln. They did it tonight at 5 o'clock. The 5 o'clock show is when they did it. I think they're replaying it tonight. You might check your guide, but BTN did. They actually did 3 camps tonight. Nebraska, Northwestern, Illinois, 3 teams that all play week 0 games. I know they were at Rutgers today. They didn't do anything on Rutgers, so that's probably for tomorrow night's show. But for those of you that are interested and want to get the BTN perspective on the Huskers, that show did air tonight. I think it is coming up later tonight. They usually replay that a couple times overnight, so you probably can tape it, DVR it, get it, and watch some of the coverage.
Did you watch the first run of it? What'd you think?
Down here watching. Very fair, very good. They talked to Luke Reimer. They talked to Scott Frost, Eric Chenander, and Turner Corcoran. So those are the guys that they talked to from the Nebraska standpoint. But I thought their evaluations are pretty fair in Nebraska. They kind of believe that it's the quarterback position race is over, that it's pretty clearly Casey Thompson. And I don't know that anybody would argue too much about that. But they also liked what they saw from Chuba the day they were here.
Yeah, it seemed like they were impressed from top to bottom, the talent that, again, a couple of them saying that as far as matching up on paper talent versus talent on other teams, that Nebraska shouldn't be out-talented by many of the teams that they face, if any.
And I mentioned volleyball starts 2 days tomorrow. There's no media availability all week for volleyball. First time we'll get a chance to talk to some of the volleyball players will be a week from today. And yes, volleyball still can do 2-a-days. So they'll be going 2-a-days for the next week. Coach Cook will be in the gym getting that team cranked up and ready. All right, fast first hour. Coming up next hour, we will hear from Tommy Hill, who is a transfer from Arizona State, making a strong push to be a starter in the secondary, and O'Shawn Mathis making a strong case to be a starter up front for this defense. All that and more of your calls, comments coming your way next hour. Come on back.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Farmers Mutual of Nebraska is proud to support Husker athletics. Having a confident teammate beside you makes all the difference when it comes to protecting what matters most. With a proven track record of dependable coverage, unmatched financial strength, and a prompt claim service team right here in Nebraska, that's insurance kept local. Visit FMNE.com to contact an agent for a quote today. Farmers Mutual of Nebraska, always alongside you.
Let me grab my car keys and we'll roll.
We still going to that new bar downtown?
Yeah, it's supposed to be fun. Lexi, give me driving directions from home to downtown Bar District.
Autocorrect. Suggest Uber. Pick up, home. Drop off downtown Bar District.
No, I'm driving.
Suggest the Metro bus. Departing in 12 minutes.
Point taken, Lexi. We'll grab a ride.
If you drink, don't drive. Decide to ride. Brought to you in partnership by Anheuser-Busch, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and Uber.
Seasons change, but your land stays the same. You need the right solutions to keep you moving. That's why you rely on Acres Equipment, your premier John Deere dealership and proud partner of Nebraska Athletics. Whether you're harvesting, protecting your crops, feeding the herd, maintaining your lawn, improving your business, or letting off some steam, Acres has what you need to get the job done. Acres Equipment, solutions for every field.
SOS to the rescue. SOS to the rescue.
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Ooh, but he can't make it because he is so hot. The air conditioner is out again. SOS, he screams and calls SOS Heating and Cooling, his favorite Luxair dealer trusted since 1950. With Luxair, you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue.
With the GoCurrency.com sports ticker, I'm Tim Mulhaupt on the Huskers Radio Network. Welcome into a new week and a new hour, Husker fans. Today, Nebraska football made defensive coordinator Eric Chenander available to the media, and he discussed his impressions of his defense in the Husker team scrimmage that took place this past Saturday.
Yeah, in the scrimmage, I think we had a couple of shots to get some balls out that we didn't get out. We did get a couple interceptions, so that was great to see. And I think the guys are rushing the passer really well right now. So I think that as that all comes together, you have to be an opportunistic defense, right? You have to run to the football. And right now our guys are really running to the ball. And when those balls get tipped up in the air, whether a receiver bats a ball and it's not quite there, or the DB tips it up, or a linebacker gets a hand on it, we're getting a lot of those right now. And it's lucky, but it's not lucky because they're running to the ball, you know what I mean? And when you run to the ball, good stuff happens.
On a somber note, former Nebraska football assistant coach Jack Pierce passed away this morning. Pierce had served as an assistant coach for Tom Osborne from 1979 to 1991 before holding development roles in the Huskers athletic program in the 90s and the 2010s. Nebraska Athletic Department released the following statement earlier today. Today, our heart goes out to the family, friends, and Husker colleagues of Jack Pierce, who passed away earlier this morning. We share the sentiment from the department, sending our best wishes to Coach Pierce, his family, and his friends. Elsewhere in college football, today we saw the top 25 preseason coaches poll released. And in the top 5, it was Alabama at 1, Ohio State 2, Georgia 3, Clemson 4, and Notre Dame 5. As for the Big Ten, in addition to number 2, Ohio State, we saw Michigan come in at 6, Michigan State at 14, Wisconsin came in at number 20, and just missing the cut with the top 2 votes outside of the top 25, Iowa, which would have been number 26, and Penn State 27. Down in the Big 12, Oklahoma assistant football coach Cale Gundy, the longest-serving football coach in the Big 12, resigned from the OU program last night after spending 16 years with the Sooners. Gundy confirmed that he used a racially charged word after reading it aloud off a distracted player's iPad in a team meeting. Over to pro sports. In Major League Baseball tonight, 3 games currently in action. It's 5-1 Orioles up over the Blue Jays. In the AL East showdown, the Orioles have been red hot as of late. The Mets were also scorching hot, up 3-0 over the Reds. That one's in the top of the 4th. And the Nationals and Cubs are scoreless. That game just underway. At 8:40 tonight, 3 games in action. The Angels will take on the Athletics in Oakland. The Pirates meet the Diamondbacks in Arizona at 8:40 as well. And finishing out that 8:40 block, the Giants are in San Diego, who are looking to bounce back after being swept by the Dodgers. The Yankees, who have not won a game since the trade deadline, are taking on the Mariners at 9:10 out in Seattle. In the NBA today, Brooklyn Nets star forward Kevin Durant told ownership that if Brooklyn wants him to play this year, they have to choose between him or the current head coach and GM tandem of Steve Nash and Sean Marks. Durant has asked for a trade from the Nets if his demands are not met. This update is presented by Currency. Currency makes financing quick, easy, and secure for heavy machinery, ag equipment, trucks, trailers, and more. Visit GoCurrency.com for details. That's the ticker. I'm Tim Mulhaupt, and Hour 2 of Sports Nightly is next on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
In motion is Brewington. They snap it back, fake the handoff, looking to throw. They flip it out the flat to Brewington, makes a catch. Touchdown, Nebraska. Well, that looked easy that time. Brewington came in motion, and instead of cutting down the block, kept out the flat, flipped it out to him for an easy 6 points. And Treese now sends a man in motion. They turn, they flip it off to McDuffie, trying to race to the edge. Gets around JoJo Doma, but can't get around Nick Henrich. He'll go down. He'll lose 3 yards, back to the 23-yard line. What a play by Nebraska. It's caught. Touchdown. Omar Manning. What a grab in the end zone, and the Huskers have 6 more points.
What a throw and catch. Yes.
Nice jitterbug move, and it bounced into the outside 40 to the 50-yard line, to the 40, 30-yard line, 20. That's Grant, 15, 10, 5. He's in there. Touchdown, Anthony Grant, with an electrifying move to the line of scrimmage, scoots to the outside and dashes down the sideline.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Thank you. We're back, hour number 2 of our Monday night show. Hope you had a great weekend and just a couple of more summer weekends left. I know a lot of the schools begin to open, some late this week, some next week. UNL will start their fall semester 2 weeks from today. And they'll have a graduation, their August graduation, which is their smallest one of the 4 they do throughout the year, this Saturday. And I ran into Keith Zimmer today. He thought there were 13 or 14 student athletes getting their diploma this Saturday. We'll get some information on that later in the week. But it's almost over. Summer is almost over.
Yes, and have to start fighting for parking again.
Andrew's not happy about that. You found some news about a potential TV deal for the Big Ten that may be close to being announced.
Yeah, just in the last 10 minutes, John Aurand, who works for the Sports Business Journal, and he always gets all the scoops, and most of the time is spot on with his reporting. He gets those inside details. Just tweeted out that, again, we've been waiting and waiting the conclusion of this media rights negotiation between the Big Ten and what other networks could possibly be involved. And he said, the tweet says, barring a last-minute change of direction, ESPN will not carry Big Ten games for the first time in 40 years. So in 1966, ABC began carrying Big Ten games. In 1982 is when ESPN and the Big Ten struck out their first deal, I guess, between ESPN and the Big Ten. But yeah, it's looking like ESPN is on the outside looking in. They're still negotiating, but unless things change, it's looking right as of right now, which, as we all know, Fox is going to be the A package, and they have rights to, on Fox, that big noon game, plus BTN, Fox Sports 1, and they'll have 60% of the take. But right now, the deals are looking like it's going to be between CBS and NBC for a B package. CBS would pick up games for the 3:30 p.m. Eastern window, and NBC would carry games in prime time. How about that?
Kevin Warren kind of hinted at that at Big Ten Media Days back in Indianapolis. He goes, why can't we have all 3? So you could have a huge game at noon Eastern, 11 our time. CBS is parting ways with the SEC in a 2-year period of time with that 2:30 window, which I love those big SEC games at 2:30. That could be a Big Ten game, followed by a primetime game on NBC at 6:30, 7 o'clock at night. Love it.
I do too. I love it. We talked about that would be the dream scenario.
Wow.
And man, I mean, I cannot believe ESPN is kind of stepping back from this or whatever it might be, because they're going to have massive competition there at every single time slot. Oh. We've already seen what Fox has done to that big noon, that 11 a.m. kickoff slot, competing with ESPN. CBS, they own that 2:30 slot.
They do.
And so every single time slot available, the Big Ten is going to be dominating with big time networks and big time slots and opportunities there.
So the best game of the week Fox would get, because they have first choice. The second best game, according to SBJ's report, would be the CBS game.
Or NBC. It sounds like they're going to split
they trade
it.
Off.
So maybe it's 1 week, it's at that primetime slot. But yeah, I mean, just massive. But most of the time, there's more than one big time Big Ten matchup.
And in 2 years, adding the 2 LA schools.
Absolutely.
You're going to be able to put, a game out there at 5 o'clock Pacific time that would be back 6, 7 here, 8 in the East. Wow. How do you feel about cutting the tie with ESPN?
I saw somebody tweeted that this is going to hurt because now the Big Ten, the ESPN's bias, they won't talk about the Big Ten as much, which, again, ESPN is the one that has the college football playoff, which means they put out the rankings, all of that. They kind of push the narrative. But if you have these other big time networks that are pushing for that, first of all, you can't not talk about teams in the Big Ten if they are some of the best in the country, if you're trying to be, legitimate college football source. But I don't know. Again, and then the college football playoff negotiations, because they own the rights to that. And we heard Kevin Warren talking about getting our partners, the Big Ten's TV partners, in on that deal too.
If you expand it to 16, you would almost need to have 2 different partners.
Yes, yeah.
To cover a 16-team playoff field. Plus, it would drive the money up. You have 2 people bidding for it.
Absolutely. I'm not that concerned about it, because you're going from being on one, or I guess if you Fox and ESPN, to Fox, NBC, and CBS.
Wow. That's the trifecta. Just hit the trifecta with that right there.
Absolutely.
Man, let's hope this report's true. Kevin Warren hinted he thought before kickoff of this season, which we're just over 2 weeks away, he would have this thing announced.
So this report, again, from John Aurand, and it is on the Sports Business Journal, he makes it sound like it could be done at the end of this week or early next week.
Wow.
So it could be within the next week. We know for sure what this looks like.
Folks, what do you think? Cutting the cord with ESPN, does it bother you? And think about game day. Kirk Herbstreit, big Ohio State guy. Desmond Howard, Heisman Trophy winner from Michigan. Those are two of their main talents, two Big Ten guys, and they may not be able to call or cover a game in their old league. How about that? I'd love to get the folks' take on it. Are you upset about this? Would this break your heart if ESPN goes away from covering Big Ten football? I'd love to get your thoughts on that. Well, one guy that's come to Lincoln is Tommy Hill, and he's made a pretty big impression on his coaches, his teammates. Transferred from Arizona State. He's a defensive back. Eric Chenander said today he's one of the three guys fighting for a starting spot.
We did give him a hard time for not coming to do the interview with us, with you and June.
He just skipped this step.
And he said sorry. He didn't know. He was very apologetic about it, but has a great personality, and you can see that on the field. He exudes confidence. He has a lot of fun. He's a hype guy for his teammates. But yeah, I had a chance to finally catch up with Tommy Hill today after practice. Well, Tommy Hill, a couple weeks into camp now, or almost 2 weeks. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great, amazed.
Yeah. How has it gone for you? I mean, what's been your approach to fall camp? I know you made a big splash, and everybody's talking about what you've brought to camp. What did you want to bring just from the start?
Just a dog mindset. Competitive, person lined up in front of me, I'm gonna go get them. So that's what they wanted, a dog, so they got one.
Where does that come from? How have you become that type of player?
Just growing up, playing with older kids, playing with my older brother, just never crying when I get hit hard or something. So just becoming a dog at that moment, so it raised me up to right now, so I'm glad.
The few times I've been out to practice, you just seem like a guy that loves being out on a football field. Some guys don't like to practice, but you seem to be loving being out there all the time. What do you love so much about playing this game and even in practice?
I just love it because my dad loved it. So once my dad passed, it made me more love it. So at the end of the day, it's in my power to love it. And the second option is my dad loved it too. So.
It's amazing. Take me back to why, when you entered the portal, why you felt like Nebraska could be a good fit for you.
I was trying to come here before the whole COVID, but I couldn't. But at the end of the day, I still wanted to because I still love Coach Fish, still love Coach Frost, all of them from UCF. But at the end of the day, I just came here to have a better opportunity to play.
What is it about Coach Fish that you love working with him?
Just he keep it real with you, so he won't keep nothing behind you. He won't sugarcoat nothing. So if you did bad, he gonna tell you did bad. So I like that.
And just overall, the secondary, I mean, there's been a lot of holes that they needed to fill going into this season. Just the guys that you guys got running out there. How do you feel like that group has gelled and come together in the secondary?
Yeah, we came together since spring, since I came in. We didn't know nothing. We didn't know how to talk to each other, none of that. But since the fall camp, we got the communication down pat more, and that's all.
What's the competition been like between you and Trey Palmer?
Oh, every day is a compete, 100%.
You know, he talked about how much you're making him better. How much is he making you better?
Oh, 100%. One time he caught a deep pass on me. I'm going to be 100. He caught a deep pass on me. I didn't like it, but at the end of the day, he told me a technique I never knew. So coming from LSU, teaching me new things that he's seen, that makes a lot. And I've seen stuff that I could teach him, so that makes it better.
Yeah, and overall, just this offense and the different playmakers and the wrinkles that Coach Whipple is putting in, how much does that prepare you guys as a defense for offenses you might face on a Saturday, going up against this offense?
Oh, we got the best offense. I know we do. Heads down to the offensive line, to the quarterback. So wide receiver, running back, all through. So I know we got talent, and I know defense got talent, so every day is competing.
Yeah, I was going to ask you just overall from the line to the edge guys to the linebackers to the secondary, how's the defense come together so far in fall camp?
A lot. We communicate a lot. Me and Nelly, I speak to the whole D-line when I'm in a whole different coverage. I'll be telling them, I like what you do. Keep going to the pass rusher. You get to the pass rusher, it's a pick for me. And when they get to a pass rusher, it's a pick. So I appreciate it. It's probably not a pick for me, but it's a pick to the secondary. So I appreciate what the defense is doing for me and how the defensive line, they take care of their job and let us handle the rest on the back end.
And what's the key to continuing to progressing so that you guys are ready to go come week one there against Northwestern in Dublin?
Just more leaders and communication skills. That's all.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
You heard him say, his goal from when he stepped on campus, he wanted to bring that dog mentality. That's what they wanted, and that's what he's tried to do. And I think it's evident that's what he's brought out to practice. And the battles between him and Trey Palmer have been just so epic and so entertaining.
Yeah. He's going to be a good player, and he's going to also has the ability to return kicks. He's pretty good at that as well, so he's going to add some depth into that room. I think he's an explosive, talented player. Glad he's a Husker.
Yeah, and I think too, it's been also fascinating to watch how some of these guys that have come in, how they've meshed with some of the guys like Quentin Newsome. But him and Quentin Newsome seem really close and love being out on the field together. And so, you talk about meshing some of these new players coming in that absolutely have big personalities and big expectations and are probably going to play big roles. Also speaks volumes to the guys that have been here, how well they've accepted them in. Because it could have been a little headbutting, but, a guy like Quentin Newsome understands what Tommy Hill can bring to a secondary. And so, they want to play together and, they just want what's best. And so I think just, again, the way that they've come together in a way that you didn't know how it would come together, I think is really good.
Very cool. Good to hear from him. We're going to hear from O'Shawn Mathis later on in the hour as well. All right, phone lines, text lines wide open for you. 402-413-2400 is the number for you to take part in the program. It is our Sports Nightly hotline brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. With 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned, you can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse. Back with more of the show coming up next.
Do you want your date to wait for your interlock device to let you drive? Your kids to ask why you have an ankle bracelet? Or your boss to see your criminal history? Do you want to miss important life events because of house arrest? Get a ride. A DUI costs more than you think.
Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
How do you remember things? Post-it note, string around your finger, smartphone reminder? Whatever you do, remember Nebraska Pick 3 2x2 and My Day. 3 great Nebraska Lottery Lotto games that are all $1 per play with drawings every day. Nebraska Pick 3 lets you choose your own bet type. 2x2 has a $22,000 top prize. And with My Day, you choose a 6-digit date. Must be 19, please play responsibly. Oh, got a reminder. Produced Nebraska Lottery commercial. I'm all over that.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it is safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief, nutrition, or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
It's time to amp up the fun now during the Ford Summer Supercharged Sales Event.
Just move on up.
Get great offers on select Ford vehicles, and you'll not only bring back the fun, you'll supercharge it. So stop by the Summer Supercharged Sales Event at your Ford dealer and discover how Ford can take your summer to a whole new level. Not all models, trims, or features may be available. Contact your dealer for information.
Just move on up.
Touchdown, Nebraska!
If you're doing business in Nebraska, the best way to connect your organization with the excitement surrounding the Huskers is through a partnership with Nebraska Athletics. You can take your business to the next level by reaching loyal Husker fans through in-venue signage, digital and social media, radio advertising, and more.
Got it!
Join the Husker team today and email partners@huskers.com to learn more about opportunities to connect with Husker Nation. That's partners@huskers.com.
Save with low price lockdown from Hy-Vee. We've locked down prices on hundreds of your favorite everyday items. Prices are locked down for months and months on major leading name brands. The products that you like, the products that you want, and products that you'll want to stock up on. And all of the prices are locked down until we unlock them and lower them even more. Low price lockdown. Deals you can't beat anywhere. Only at Hy-Vee.
Give it off to Yant, right side. Jacquez to the 35. Nice move. 40, 45, 50, 45, 40. Run, big fella. 30, 25, 20. Stiff arming the guy. 10 to the 5. He's out of bounds to the 4-yard line. Jacquez Yant.
Hey Huskers fans, this Wednesday, join us on Sports Nightly from 6 to 8 p.m. as we break down another Nebraska football fall camp practice report. Tune into your local affiliate or at huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
Triple B Feed has the products to help your cows thrive. Whether it's weekly delivery of consumption-controlled Lumix liquid minerals with protein or Redmond natural mineral salt for livestock or humans, Triple B has you covered. Let Brian and Brad Blahorn take some of the stress out of your beef production this year. For more information and other products, visit triplebfeed.com. Triple B Feed, helping you and your cattle.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks, foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, it is sponsored by Acres. They are the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres Solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you here on a Monday night, 402-413-2400. We brought this to you right out of the top of this hour that Sports Business Journal is reporting that the Big Ten is very close to a new TV deal that will include CBS and NBC, but no ESPN. And Jeremy and a couple of other folks in the chat room have said, okay, so if NBC is involved, does that mean their negotiations with Notre Dame are over? I would say that's how I would read that Notre Dame and NBC are parting ways.
Yeah, that's how I would read it too, that because it wouldn't make sense for NBC to guarantee that time slot and for Notre Dame to be okay with never being on in primetime.
Right.
So yeah, to me, that would seem that if this comes out, which does that mean that Notre Dame, an announcement comes out before that regarding Notre Dame?
Where do they go?
Because it's going to be very evident if they come out and say, all right, NBC's got the 7 o'clock kick for the Big Ten. All right, what does that mean for Notre Dame?
Buckle up, folks. I thought this realignment might slow down. Maybe not, because if that happens, you got to feel like Notre Dame's ready to sign the papers to join the Big Ten. My goodness, would that be amazing if that happens. We'll keep you posted on all of that. Time to tell you to buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Huskers will play Oklahoma again this year. My goodness, is there just a dust-up going on down there with Oklahoma wide receivers coach Cale Gundy resigned Sunday night after it was revealed that he used inappropriate language in a film study with several Sooner players. Gundy addressed that matter in a lengthy statement posted on his Twitter account, saying that he owes I apologize to those who were disappointed by this news. Last week during a film session, I instructed my players to take notes. I noticed a player was distracted and picked up his iPad and read aloud the words that were written on his screen. The words displayed had nothing to do with football. One particular word that I should never, under any circumstance, have uttered was displayed on that screen. In the moment, I did not even realize what I was reading, and as soon as I did, I was horrified. So that's his side of the story. Today, head coach Brent Venables comes out and said, quote, he chose to read aloud to his players not once but multiple times a racially charged word that is objectionable to everyone and does not reflect the attitude and values of our university and our football program. This is not acceptable, period. Coach Gundy did the right thing in resigning. Boy, when I saw Coach Gundy's statement last night, it didn't add up in my mind that, okay, you're reading somebody else's words. You were trying to call out a player. That shouldn't cause you to want to resign. I knew there was more to the story, and I don't know that we even have the full picture yet, even after Venables sings today. But a little unrest in Norman, and that's not a great way to start a new regime for Brent Venables. Your first time out of the gate as a head coach.
And today they just started fall camp.
Correct.
Like, they're not that far into fall camp, and not a good way to start, the beginning of a season. But yeah, it has been wild. I saw Gabe Eichert, who Gabe and Jeremiah played together somewhere. I can't remember where, but so Gabe and Jeremiah are good buddies. Gabe put out that he had talked to players that said that the vast majority of the players wanted Gundy to stay. And so you got to imagine maybe they weren't happy with him going. He is very well liked, not just by the current players, but you talk about a guy named Adrian Peterson, who he recruited, everybody in the country, DeMarco Murray, Joe Mixon, who's on the Bengals right now, came out and had a statement for him. Cale Gundy really stuck his neck out for him. But to me, the former players' statement that really kind of stands out the most for me as someone that had, was with the program before, but was from Rodney Anderson, who was a running back who Cale Gundy also recruited. His brother is now a wide receiver, but Rodney came out and said that he is in Cale Gundy's corner, that this isn't right, and went on to speak about what, Coach Gundy meant to him. So for his brother to be in that room and have heard what went down, and then for him to come out and say that he didn't think it was right, who knows? There's a lot that we don't know how it went down, a lot of speculation, but boy, it is messy. And again, as we mentioned, not a good way to get things rolling here in fall camp.
Cale Gundy has been on that staff since 1999. He survived a couple different coaching, and played there, and has been on a couple different coaching staffs. Bob Stoops, then Lincoln Riley, and was retained by Brent Venables. And Venables was on the staff with Stoops for a number of years, so he would have been a co-worker with Gundy for all those times. So there's obviously some kind of rub between the two. I think from the Nebraska standpoint, I love this. There's some friction going on down there. Keep that thing going and keep them kind of off skelter a little bit for the next month. We play them here in about 40 days.
Yeah, it's obviously going to continue to be a distraction because they're going to continue to be asked about it. It's going to continue to blow up on social media, and so if that is a distraction, let's go. I think that's everybody that plays OU is all for it.
That's just a messy thing that happens.
Not that you would ever want anything like that to ever happen by any means, but the fact that they're not.
Wasn't your first reaction? Wait a minute, we're not getting the whole story here.
Yeah.
When you saw, if you're reading somebody else's tablet and there's a bad word, you're embarrassing the player. You're like, come on, dude, you can't do that. But then the coach resigns.
Yeah, you'd think, maybe a suspension or an apology or something, if it was what it kind of appeared to be initially. But I've had a lot of people reach out to me, ask me what happened. I don't know. A lot of the people that I knew on that staff are now gone. Cale Gundy was actually one of the coaches that I knew and had worked with for quite some time. So I don't know. I think we'll continue to know. I know his daughter put out a statement that was then deleted, saying that this whole story will come out. Who knows? It's messy. It's unfortunate. And that's what another thing that a lot of the former players are saying, that it's not good all around. It's not good with, what it had come out. Either way, it's a lose-lose situation for Oklahoma. And it's just a sad day from, again, what all the former players are saying, that it's just a sad day because he is really well loved by a lot of different generations of Sooners.
The Gundy name in Oklahoma means an awful lot. So this is big-time news coming out of Norman last night, bleeding over into today. And I don't know that I've ever seen a statement from a head football coach that strong against a guy that's been on his staff. I mean, that was filled with venom, I felt like, coming from him. Oklahoma ranked 9th in the coaches poll, which came out earlier today. Ohio State, the highest ranked Big Ten team at number 2. They play out of the gate Notre Dame, who's number 5. So you're in number 2, number 5, week 1. That's going to be a huge game. That's a big noon game on Labor Day weekend. Big one.
There's some really good matchups in those first few weeks. Lots of good matchups.
Sure are. That'll be fun. If you have any thoughts, 402-413-2400, the number to dial us up with a comment or question. We have time to tell you about a couple of football ticket plans for the upcoming season. Oklahoma, who we've been just talking about, plus 2 mini plan gives you 1 Oklahoma ticket, 2 tickets to the North Dakota game, 2 tickets to the Georgia Southern game for $270, and then a Big Ten mini plan, $200 for a ticket to the 4 home Big Ten games, Indiana, Illinois, Minnesota, and Wisconsin, $200 for those. Told today that of the visiting teams, and this is probably not going to surprise a lot of people, of the visiting teams that are coming to Memorial Stadium this year, the visiting team that has bought the most tickets is North Dakota. How about that?
I'm not really surprised by that.
It's a big-time game for them.
Yes, and they've got a passionate fan base.
They do.
And so this is a cool atmosphere. Again, a lot of people have this stadium, and to be in Lincoln on a game day is a bucket list as a sports fan. So, yeah, I'm not surprised at all.
I think there's quite a
few.
few.
Not far.
No, I think there's quite a few Husker fans that live in North Dakota because they're not FBS, they are FCS. So they can pick an FBS school to be kind of a fan of. And I think there's a lot of Husker fans. In fact, I go on some radio shows up in the North Dakota areas quite frequently. Let's head to the phones. Let's stay here in Lincoln. Russ, you're up next here on Sports Nightly.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call. 54-year-old Husker fan. Work all the games in the stadium up in the East 600 level. Can't wait to get back there. I guess a couple of my comments are, I had some reservations about Kevin Warren and what he was doing there and some of the things that had happened. And I think we were all kind of yearning to go back to the Big 12, right? And but I'm thinking right now we're in a pretty good spot with what they've got going on with the TV deal. And I feel like we're going to be on even terms with the SEC before too long as far as, they think they run this country with their football. And I think the Big Ten's deciding that, hey, we want to take a stand. And I'm really kind of surprised because I thought they were stuck in the mud, old money back in Chicago and they were never going to change. And I have to give them a little credit. I think Nebraska's in a good spot. Now we just have to strap it up on the field and put a better product out there. And maybe with a little bit of even officiating out there on the field, this could turn out to be a pretty good deal.
Russ, isn't it amazing how quickly our perceptions of Kevin have changed? And I think you're dead on. I mean, a couple years ago, he acted like he didn't want us to play football because of COVID, and so there were certainly some concerns there. But now, with what he's done in the last month, getting UCLA, USC, and now on the doorstep of this huge TV deal, and now he's like the best commissioner going.
Well, yeah, at this point, and I'm pleasantly surprised. I remember growing up and watching the Nebraska-Oklahoma on CBS a couple times, and it just kind of makes you feel like we are going a little. We are going literally big. We're going CBS, NBC, and I've seen people talking about ESPN. If you look at the programming they have right now, it's horrible. I mean, they have like pickleball. I mean, they're sports that they have pickleball and cornhole and yeah, those are fun activities.
Now, Russ, we all love cornhole, don't we?
Well, I know, but to advertise that, to put it on a major TV thing, that's your major programming for the evening. It's just kind of like, wow, there's other things going on in the world. But anyhow, and then I do love your comment. Herb Street and Big Mouth from Michigan not being able to call Big Ten games. I think that's fantastic if this goes through, because we know Mr. Desmond Howard doesn't like good old Nebraska U, and even though Ohio State went down the same road we did, boy, he won't say nothing about but Ohio State, because them and Michigan, they're the only two things that matter in the Big Ten, right?
You bet.
So, so it's great to hopefully get to shut him up, respectfully, I should say. And I'm pretty excited. I think it's a neat deal, and I'd love to see Nebraska on CBS, national TV, 2:30, instead of Alabama, Georgia, or something. And I really think that, guys, we put a winning record together this year and start playing ball, the kids will come here, and we're going to start competing again to be relevant, and that's what I'm excited to see. I don't foresee that it's going to be the 90s again, and that's okay, but I just want to see Nebraska right now when we open up USA Today, number 18, number 15, and see where it goes from there. And I really think it's just going to take one good season for these kids to wake up, and especially a kid like Malachi Coleman. If we can come out 4-0, and then in October he announces, you beat Northwestern, you beat Oklahoma. Where else is he going to want to go? Well, he's going to stay home. And now we start building. So anyhow, so you can tell I'm a big fan, kind of a big kid, even at 54. But I love my Huskers, and very, very pumped up for this season.
Very good.
And thank you for taking my call.
All right, Russ, appreciate it. Thanks for the call. I don't get a sense people are going to be that upset if we make the break from ESPN. I just don't think people are going to be that upset.
I don't think so either. I don't think so at all. It seems like everybody's all for it, and especially I think it opens up a huge opportunity to be on NBC and CBS. NBC and CBS are still in more homes than ESPN2
They are.
or ESPNU or whatever that might be. I saw someone ask about what this would mean for volleyball. I think it only...
I don't know that this would change much.
I mean,
No.
I think they're going to continue to be on Big Ten Network, in which we heard there's a record number of games being on there. Maybe potentially a chance to get some of those matches on Fox Sports 1. But, yeah, I mean, ESPN had a few volleyball games on.
Very few.
But
Yeah.
not that much.
Russ, appreciate the call. Dirk Chatelain had a really good piece about lack of volleyball coverage nationally over in the Omaha World Herald over the weekend. It's a good read. In fact, Kelly Sheffield, the coach at Wisconsin, retweeted it and said, good article. All right, I need to take a break. Nebraska 811 says, go, dig, red. Before you dig, always call or click 811 to have your utility lines marked. It's free. It's easy. It's the law. We're back to hear from O'Shawn Mathis. We'll do that next.
Woodhouse Ford is your certified Ford dealer, serving drivers throughout Nebraska for 47 years. Our commitment to our customers continues well beyond the date of purchase. You will leave our lot feeling comfortable and confident in your new vehicle. Customers have been relying on Woodhouse Ford since 1975 for high-quality vehicles, knowledgeable staff, and exceptional service. Experience the Woodhouse Ford difference and shop at one of our 3 locations in-store or online at woodhouseford.com.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. Nebraska researchers are designing the next generation of roadside steel barriers through an industry partnership with Trafix Devices. This partnership has produced the Delta Crash Cushion, a simplistic, effective way to keep drivers safe on highways. This barrier is vital for roadside safety and significantly improves the chances motorists will be able to walk away from roadside collisions.
Give it off to Yant, right side. Jack West to the 35. Nice move. 40, 45, 50, 45, 40. Run, big fella. 30, 25, 20. Stiff arming the guy. 10 to the 5. He's out of bounds to the 4-yard line. Jack West, Yant.
Hey Huskers fans, this Wednesday, join us on Sports Nightly from 6 to 8 p.m. as we break down another Nebraska football fall camp practice report. Tune into your local affiliate or at huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
You already got the hat, the jersey, maybe even the occasional red and white face paint. So kick things off right this season and add the FNBO Husker Visa debit card to the list. Pay loud and proud for every Husker decal, t-shirt, or hot dog at the game. Wear your heart on your sleeve and in your wallet with the Husker Visa debit card. Free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get yours today at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
At CHI Health Clinic, we believe healthcare should be personal because knowing your provider personally makes appointments more comfortable, more productive, and more meaningful to your overall health. Get matched with a primary care provider based on your personality and lifestyle using CHI Health Clinic's My Provider Match. Take the survey at myprovidermatch.com to find the right provider for you. Getting healthier starts by getting personal at CHI Health Clinic.
Hey, Husker fans, it's time to gear up for the season. So let's do it right. Jerseys, hats, hoodies, and more. Shields has everything you need to show your Nebraska pride. Visit our fan shop online or in-store for the biggest and best brands in the game. You'll find the right gear to level up your team spirit with all the essentials for your pregame parking lot party. Shields, proud partner of Husker Athletics and football fans everywhere.
Want to get all the latest Husker news straight to your phone? Need to be the first of your friends to get the scoop on all things Huskers? Sign up for text alerts from Nebraska Athletics. Text Huskers to 83200 to get game time notifications and updates, breaking news, special ticket offers, and more straight to your phone. All the Husker news is just a quick text away. Just text Huskers to 83200. Standard text messaging rates apply and may vary by carrier.
Families who travel to Nebraska's only Ronald McDonald House are facing extremely uncomfortable situations. Their child is sick in an unfamiliar city, unsure of how to handle it all. But when they walk in the Ronald McDonald House, they can find comfort in the little things. A quiet moment away from the bombardment of beeps and buzzes in a hospital room. The taste of a home-cooked meal. A calming voice saying it'll be okay. Help us provide the little things that make a big difference. Support a one-night stay for a family in need by visiting rmhcomaha.org/Huskers.
How do you remember things? Post-it note, string around your finger, smartphone reminder? Whatever you do, remember Nebraska Pick 3 2x2 and My Day. 3 great Nebraska Lottery Lotto games that are all $1 per play with drawings every day. Nebraska Pick 3 lets you choose your own bet type. 2x2 has a $22,000 top prize. And with My Day, you choose a 6-digit date. Must be 19, please play responsibly. Oh, got a reminder. Produced Nebraska Lottery commercial. I'm all over that.
Time now to see what's on tap, presented by Bud Light. Huskers soccer will be in action, their final exhibition tune-up match Friday night at Hibner Stadium. Free admission. They're taking on the Tulsa Golden Hurricane. 7:05 is when the ball will drop out at Hibner. The Husker volleyball team will have their red-white scrimmage on the 20th at 6 o'clock at the Devaney Center. Earlier in the day, it'll be their fan day for folks to come out and get autographs from their favorite Huskers. So that's on the 20th. And then Husker football will start their season on the 27th in Dublin, Ireland. An 11:30 kickoff will be on the air with Husker Game Day at 7:30 on the 27th on Saturday, 7:30 a.m. and kickoff right before noon here in the Central Time Zone. That is what is on tap, presented by Bud Light. We began the program talking about having a practice report with Eric Chenander, Husker defensive coordinator, talking about the scrimmage, the first 2+ weeks of camp. One guy that he was asked about is O'Shawn Mathis, and you had a chance to catch up with O'Shawn after practice today.
Yeah, we had already done a pretty lengthy interview with him, so I told him I wouldn't keep him long. So just a couple quick minutes on an update on how fall camp has been progressing for him. How is fall camp going for you?
So far, it's been good. It's been good just getting in and the more of approach of now the two-a-day aspect of things and coming in is keeping our bodies healthy and stuff like that. It's all been good for all of us. Being that you weren't here in the spring, I know you were here throughout summers and everybody talked about your leadership. What was your approach to that and getting in here and getting in with this team? Yeah. Coming in, like I tell everyone, I didn't want to create any eggshells to step on. Coming in with a more of approach of coming in and showing people how you're supposed to be. And I've heard a lot from other interviews that people look up to me and stuff like that. So that's a good thing, and I'm just continue doing what I do. You know, one thing that I've heard a lot about too is just how you and Garrett Nelson have worked so well together in that leadership role. Now that you've been on the field with him, because you've talked about him before and saw him on tape, but now that you've actually got to be on the field with him, what's that been like? It's been great, man. I've seen his work ethic, and it's getting a lot better and better. Just seeing him, it drives me, if anything, and I'm just going to be that shoulder to lean on whenever he's going through his emotional stages or whatever, and including everyone else. When things go bad, things can go good whenever one person picks up the craft. So just being able to do that and seeing him thrive as a teammate and is great. It's great to see. With a lot of new pieces, yourself included, coming together really for the first time here in the fall, how have you liked the way you guys have come together in fall camp? Yeah, it's made us a lot closer since then. We have a stronger schedule going on, so we're all a lot closer together. Early in the mornings, we're hanging out, we're listening to music in the locker room, getting ready for practice, showing up in the film ahead of time, and telling jokes and stuff like that before we watch film. All that stuff has made us a lot more closer, and I wouldn't put it aside that we're going to get any closer because, honestly, there's still a lot more room to grow. What did you think of the first scrimmage on Saturday? Oh, the scrimmage was great. There's a lot more things to pick up, but, it's a work in progress, and we're going to get better every day at the end. To the end of fall camp, it's going to all get better. So. And, how do you like the potential of what this defense could potentially do? Oh, yeah, there's a lot more room to improve, and we're already good. We're showing a lot more effort and stuff like that. So just coming together, all we have to do is just keep working hard day by day. Appreciate your time. Appreciate you guys. I mean, Greg, add another fantastic interview to the list, which we've talked at length about, but gosh, he's so mature and so thoughtful and is just such a great interview to get to talk to. If I charged you with naming your 5 favorite players on this team to talk to. I can't do it. I couldn't do it. That'd be hard. It'd be very hard. He's great. He's awesome. And, it's just, again, just a guy that can tell that people just admire, and just the way that he's carried himself, because he didn't come in speaking too much or trying to demand leadership. He just
earned it. And, I think it's just very evident how much he's respected on this team.
Coach Frost said a couple years ago, he said, one thing he learned in the first couple seasons of coaching this league, he says, you better get old. You better be mature in this league. Get old and stay old. And I feel like there's just a lot of maturity on this football team. I don't see a lot of just goofing around and guys I just think there's a lot of adults kind of in the room. And that even comes from a guy like Marquise Buford, who's not an adult but acts like one, right? Gabe Irvin, another one. That's young but acts old.
But I think they also have goals and things that they want to do, and it is just, it is business, and they just, are going about it as such. Yet they're still having fun, because I've said that too. It's also a very fun group, and I haven't enjoyed covering a team like this, and they're just so much fun to be around. There's so many personalities, but the way they're coming together, but they're just on a mission. I feel like that's the best way to describe it. They're just on a mission.
All right, tomorrow night we will hear a bit of your latest podcast with Jeremiah. That's coming your way tomorrow night, and we're going to talk to the kicker, Timmy Bleekrode, who we talked to back in May when he first got to campus. But you got an update from him about how things have been going.
Yes. So Timmy, got a chance to chat with him, and loved getting to talk to him. He's another guy that you could add to that list. But and then Jeremiah was at the scrimmage and was there the whole time. I was only there for a small part of it. So he was there and kind of breaks down what he took away too. So lots still. We'll keep football talking and fall camp talking tomorrow.
So that we'll have that for you tomorrow. Again, the next practice report for you will be Wednesday. I know we had a caller earlier saying, why aren't we hearing more about the offense? We'll hear from the offensive coaches on Wednesday. We heard from the head coach last Friday, so he gave kind of an overview on Friday of how the first 2 weeks of camp had gone. Scott Frost, I think, is set to meet with the media again this Saturday is when he will do that coming up. All right, need to slip in our final break back to give you the weekend winners, and we'll talk to Randy. All that coming up on the other side.
At Nebraska, our people will always be our greatest asset. Day by day, donors give our teams the best opportunity to compete and win through their generous donations. Our vision for the future is ambitious and requires help from those who want to see Husker athletics excel at the highest level. Go big and join thousands of other Huskers Athletic Fund members with your gift today at huskers.com/donate.
Woodhouse Lincoln offers more than just vehicles. Steeped in tradition, Lincoln customers are offered 100 years of car building excellence, insightful technologies, luxury interior amenities, and benefits of the state-of-the-art showrooms and service departments. Convenient pickup and delivery, and an online buying experience that can be done anywhere. The simplicity of purchasing and owning makes shopping the Metro's exclusive Lincoln dealer an easy choice. Explore how Woodhouse Lincoln can change your drive today at woodhouselincoln.com.
Give it off to Yant, right side. Jack West to the 35. Nice move. 40, 45, 50, 45, 40. Run, big fella. 30, 25, 20. Stiff arming the guy. 10 to the 5. He's out of bounds to the 4-yard line. Jack West, Yant.
Hey Huskers fans, this Wednesday, join us on Sports Nightly from 6 to 8 p.m. as we break down another Nebraska football fall camp practice report. Tune into your local affiliate or at huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
It's time to amp up the fun now during the Ford Summer Supercharged Sales Event.
Just move on up.
Get great offers on select Ford vehicles, and you'll not only bring back the fun, you'll supercharge it. So stop by the Summer Supercharged Sales Event at your Ford dealer and discover how Ford can take your summer to a whole new level. Not all models, trims, or features may be available. Contact your dealer for information.
Just move on up.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hey, Husker fans, it's time to gear up for the season. So let's do it right. Jerseys, hats, hoodies, and more. Shields has everything you need to show your Nebraska pride. Visit our fan shop online or in-store for the biggest and best brands in the game. You'll find the right gear to level up your team spirit with all the essentials for your pregame parking lot party. Shields, proud partner of Husker Athletics and football fans everywhere.
At CHI Health Clinic, we believe healthcare should be personal, because knowing your provider personally makes appointments more comfortable, more productive, and more meaningful to your overall health. Get matched with a primary care provider based on your personality and lifestyle using CHI Health Clinic's My Provider Match. Take the survey at myprovidermatch.com to find the right provider for you. Getting healthier starts by getting personal at CHI Health Clinic.
Sports Nightly Hotline brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. With 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned, you can always find your way and find what you're looking for at Woodhouse. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody, final segment of our Monday night show. Let's head to the phones. Randy and Maxwell joins us next. Good evening, sir.
Well, hello, Greg and Jessica.
Hey, Randy.
I sent my son off to college Friday, and they started their two-a-days this weekend.
Wow.
Now it's in the state of Nebraska, and it is a red-colored college. Maybe Greg can tell us what college he probably is playing for.
Is Tom Osborne an alum?
Yes, and he came to their banquet the other night, and it meant the world to him. My son calls and said, I shook hands with Tom Osborne.
Oh, cool. So Hastings
awesome.
Hastings College is where he's at. Good for him.
Yeah, and I want to point out, a lot of kids, boys listening and girls to this show and parents. And, obviously he would have loved to have been a Husker. But sometimes you're not blessed with that extra 2 or 3 inches. But, if you've got the heart, if you've got that Rudy heart, and you get that GPA up, there's a lot of colleges in Nebraska. If you really want to take it to the next level, you can. And if I can say anything else, that's what I want to say. And we're blessed to have the colleges that we have in this state.
Well put.
Love that.
Thank you, Randy.
Thank you.
Great perspective, for
Have
sure.
a good night. Appreciate you calling in. All right, time for weekend winners. What's on your list?
Okay, so Max McGreevy at the Wyndham Cup this weekend entered the weekend at 126, so one spot off of making the FedEx Cup playoffs.
Yep.
He goes and shoots a 65, had 6 under on the last 11 holes to finish tied for 5th and secure his spot.
Got in
the PGA playoffs. So it'd be a cool story no matter who it was for a golfer to be right there one spot off and play his way in. But I also worked with him. He's just a nice guy from the state of Oklahoma. So congratulations to him. It was a cool story and just come from behind. I think he knocked off Ricky Fowler too.
Ricky was right on that bubble, too. I don't know if he made it in or not.
So
there's some live golfers suing the PGA to try to get in the FedEx Cup because they would be in there, but, the PGA's gone to war with live, and so they're kicking them out. So that'll be interesting to see. My winner, also golf, Nick Faldo, retiring from the broadcast booth after 16 years as the lead analyst for CBS. Very emotional send-off. He was so choked up he couldn't even get words out. Nick Faldo won me over. Didn't like him as a player. Thought he was kind of this egotistical European, and I didn't like him at all. I rooted against him, but man, he turned me. I really enjoyed him broadcasting golf.
He was great. He was great on the call. We got time to get to Cole and Tim.
What do we got? You got theirs.
Oh, I got theirs.
Yeah, you got theirs.
Okay, Sammy.
Are you going to talk, Cole?
Cole.
Yeah. Shout out to our very own Sammy Hawk.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who shut out UNO this past weekend.
She was a goaltender between the pipes. Didn't let anything by, did she? Good for her.
Works for us and is coming off the injury. Had a great year last year, cut short due to injury. So great to see her back out there, and what a way to come out with the shutout.
Got a shutout. They're back in action. Final exhibition Friday night. Hibner, free admission. Go see some soccer. They're playing Tulsa. 7:05 is when they'll drop the ball. That'll put a wrap on the night show. Thanks to Cole for directing the ship. We're back with you again tomorrow night.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
A DUI is everything you didn't prepare for. You did not save for it. You did not train for it. You did not go to school for it. You did not raise your family or buy a house or get a job for it. It is not your life goal or a dream come true. You have planned for everything in your life. You did not plan for a DUI. Get a ride. A DUI costs more than you think.
Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Give it off to Yant, right side. Jack West to the 35. Nice move. 40, 45, 50, 45, 40. Run, big fella. 30, 25, 20. Stiff arming the guy. 10 to the 5. He's out of bounds to the 4-yard line. Jack West, Yant.
Hey Huskers fans, this Wednesday, join us on Sports Nightly from 6 to 8 p.m. as we break down another Nebraska football fall camp practice report. Tune into your local affiliate or at huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
Woodhouse Mazda and Woodhouse Place Mazda are the Omaha Metro's exclusive Mazda dealers, conveniently located in Bellevue or in Millard off 144th and Giles Road. You can shop, finance, and buy your next Mazda SUV or sedan your way. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff will guide you to your next vehicle, and our full service department is there for you when your vehicle needs maintenance. Visit us at woodhousemazda.com or woodhouseplacemazda.com to learn more.
You already got the hat, the jersey, maybe even the occasional red and white face paint. So kick things off right this season and add the FNBO Husker Visa debit card to the list. Pay loud and proud for every Husker decal, t-shirt, or hot dog at the game. Wear your heart on your sleeve and in your wallet with the Husker Visa debit card, free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get yours today.